Good evening, everyone. Welcome to my channel, The Chemistry Classes. As promised in my Facebook page, I told that I will be coming with new sessions on chemistry classes, clearing all the doubts that you have. And today, on our first class, I've already declared that we are going to do it on atoms and molecules. The very basic chapter which I have found in all the boards, that is ICSE and CBSE, especially they have it in the class 9 and class 10 syllabus. So I have chosen this as the first one because atoms and molecules happens to be the very basic bricks of chemistry. So let's start off with the class. The first thing, while coming with this atoms and molecules, we will discuss about like what are atoms. So atoms are nothing but the smallest indivisible particles that are there in our surroundings. Okay, like John Dalton told that in our surroundings there is matter. Matter is made up of molecules and molecules are made up of atoms. So what are these atoms? These atoms are the smallest indivisible particles that he said, John Dalton said, that when you are cutting a piece of cucumber, maybe the smallest piece, when you are unable to cut any further, that is the point when we call it as an atom. So in 1808, this English physicist, John Dalton, he gave some postulates based on the observations that he did and the experiments that he carried out, based on which he gave some postulates. So the 5 postulates of John Dalton's atomic theory are: so here is John Dalton's atomic theory. Point number 1, all matter is made up of tiny particles called atoms. Point number 2, atoms cannot be destroyed, neither be created. That is point number 2, that atoms can neither be destroyed nor they can be created. Point number 3, atoms of an element are identical in size, shape, and mass. Point number 4, atoms cannot be divided further. That is, they are indivisible. That is point number 4. And the last point, atoms of elements combine to form compounds in fixed ratios. So these are the 5 postulates of John Dalton's atomic theory that he gave. Well, certainly at the later stage, there were certain limitations that later on the scientists have discovered, with regards to which they have discarded this postulate. First of all, the first limitation is where he said this one. Let me change my marker. So, where he said that atoms cannot be divided further. This was the first limitation. Why? Because atoms can be divided further, and that is where the subatomic particles, they live. Whereas inside the atom there is a nucleus, where inside the nucleus there are protons and neutrons, and surrounding the nucleus there are electrons that are moving in fixed orbits. So that was the first point where John Dalton went wrong. John Dalton's postulate has been proved wrong. The next one is atoms of elements combine to form compounds in fixed ratios. This is also considered wrong because not always it has been seen that they are combining in fixed ratios. Like for example, in water, maybe they are combining in a fixed ratio as H2O has 2 atoms of hydrogen and 1 atom of oxygen. So in that particular one, what happens? The ratio of combining your combining capacity for hydrogen to oxygen is 2:1. But in case of sucrose, another compound where you will find it is C12H22O11. C12H22O11. This is sucrose. So you can find it. You don't need to write this formula. I'm just explaining it for clarifying that what are the limitations of John Dalton's atomic theory. So over here you can find the formula of sucrose. It has C12H22 and O11. So this is not in a fixed ratio. This is not in a fixed simple ratio. That is what I intend to say. Another one is that atoms is made up of tiny particles called atoms. That is absolutely true. Atoms cannot be destroyed. I mean, they can neither be created. That is also partly true. And atoms of an element are identical in size, shape and mass. That is, say for example, if I'm taking iron. So iron will contain all the atoms of iron only. There will not be any atom of copper, or there would not be any atom of any other element. So when I'm talking about the element iron, there all will be the atoms of iron only, right? So that is all about John Dalton's atomic theory. So now coming down to the next concept, that is the constituents of an atom. So what are the main constituents of an atom? Number 1, electron. Number 2, proton. Number 3, neutron. Now, another interesting fact, we call them constituents of an atom. They're also called subatomic particles, right? They're also called subatomic particles. So they're also called subatomic particles. Now, electrons, they are present at the outside of the nucleus of an atom. So basically, to give you a picture, I think that will be more better for you to understand. This inner part is the nucleus. Okay, this inner part is the nucleus. These are orbits. So the proton and neutron, they reside inside the nucleus. Okay, so inside the nucleus we have proton and we have neutron. Now this proton is basically bearing the positive charge. Okay, now there are certain charges of these subatomic particles. So proton bears the positive charge. Neutron on the other hand bears no charge at all. They are neutral, 0. So my proton is positive charge, my neutron is neutral or no charge, and my electron is negative charge. Okay, so negative charge, positive charge, neutral, right? Now these, as you can see, that inside the nucleus there is proton and neutron. Then where lies the electron? The electrons, they rotate. Let me take some other pen for a better understanding. This is where the electrons, they move outside in fixed orbits. There are certain names for these orbits also, which we are coming in the later stage. Now, as John Dalton said that that atoms are indivisible, which was later proved wrong, and the subatomic particles have been introduced. Similarly, let me give you one small information. With the latest discovery, it has been found that these subatomic particles are made up of even smaller particles. You know what it is? They are known as quarks. They are known as quarks. A very important thing which is known as the very basic of everything on this universe. So it is basically these quarks that make up the electron, the proton and the neutron. Now generally the electron, the proton or the neutron, they are not generally visible. Okay, even with an electron microscope if you take, then you can imagine how small the quarks are. They are not visible at all, right? But there are certain theories, and there are certain, you have heard about Stephen Hawking. He gave the famous string theory, which also has another theory behind these quarks. The theory of the string theory that Stephen Hawking gave, that actually led to the discovery of these quarks. So now coming to the next part of this particular subatomic particle, that is the subatomic particles. Now taking you to the concept of a molecule. What is a molecule? A molecule is made up of one or more atoms. Now this can be similar atoms, this can be dissimilar atoms. So based on that, there are two types of molecules. That is, number one, homomolecule. Number two, heteromolecule. Now what is a homomolecule and what is a heteromolecule? If, I'm telling about the first one, if the atoms of same element, they combine to form a molecule, that is known as homomolecule. So atoms of same element combine to form molecule. Then what is a heteromolecule? Atoms of different elements combine to form molecule. I'll give you one example. For this one example, O2, N2, H2, Cl2. For this one, H2O, H2SO4, H2CO3, then anything, carbon dioxide. So these are all the examples of homomolecule and heteromolecule. So I hope that now the molecule concept is clear to you all. That is, it is the atoms that combine to make a molecule. Okay, and there can be two types of molecules. That is, one type of molecule where the similar atoms, they combine to form a molecule, like for example O2, N2, H2 and Cl2. Now there are different atoms of different elements that can combine to form molecule like H2O, H2SO4, H2CO3 and carbon dioxide. So that's all for the concept of atoms and molecules. Now going further into the electron distribution, and we also have the concept of isotopes and isobars that is also there, which I will be teaching you in my further videos. So today, till this much, I am making my videos very short so that you don't feel too much stress. Okay, please wait for my next video where I will be explaining more about the electronic distribution, how we distribute the electrons in the different orbits, and at the same time the different concepts of isotopes and isobars, which most of the time we make a mistake. Also at the same time, I will be introducing you to atomic number and mass number. So in the next class, there are a lot of concepts that are waiting for you, and I guarantee there will be some concepts that I will be introducing in my class which you have never heard before, or maybe none of the teachers told you before. So wait for my next class. Thank you everybody for joining in. See you till the next class, and stay home, stay safe, stay happy, stay prepared. Thank you.